Hello, my name is Amy, and I'm taking this time to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm here talking to all of you. I'm a Minnesota farm kid, youngest of 8, if you can believe that, and I grew up on the family farm. The farm belonged to my grandparents, and my father spent his life cultivating and loving the land. When my grandparents got older, they moved to town, which is a tiny little farm town of about 1,000 people or so, a few miles away from the farm. I didn't know my grandparents all that well. I have a few memories of them coming out for Sunday dinners, and probably my favorite memories are literally racing out to the little plot of land that they had that they used for their vegetable garden, and I was going to help. And my 5-year-old Amy version of helping was really showing up to eat my grandmother's sugar cubes because she always carried them. She was diabetic and sometimes needed the sugar boost, and she would share them with me. As my grandparents got older and started having more problems, they needed someone to help them. And so the 15-year-old Amy, I had just gotten my farmer's driving permit, and I was the appropriate candidate for the job. I was nominated to go in and help them. I didn't really know what to expect. My grandfather had Parkinson's disease, so his movement and speaking and overall functions were impacted by that. And my grandmother was legally blind. She was confined to a wheelchair, so she had her own set of problems. And when I showed up that first day, that first morning, and I was asked to help my grandfather get dressed and put on his Depends, I was somewhat shocked at being exposed to something that I had never experienced before. But I did it. And as I struggled through all of the tasks and cut out each tiny little triangle of grapefruit within the grapefruit skin, so my grandmother could slowly and carefully eat each little scoop with her breakfast, something happened. I got to know my grandparents and to love them. My grandfather passed away, but I kept helping my grandmother, and she was brilliant. She loved to read and learn, and because she was legally blind, she couldn't see all that well, and there weren't a lot of audiobooks at the time, so I would read to her. And as we would be combing through journal articles and newspapers and books, she would ask me questions like, Amy, what does quantum theory mean? And I would very truthfully respond to her, I don't know, Grandma. And she would say, go get the dictionary, go get the encyclopedia. And I would literally trundle off and come back with the actual physical book, which just seems so novel and wonderful nowadays, to think that I got out these books and we looked up information together. And it was really inspiring to me. Those experiences changed me. They helped me fall in love with an older woman who was doing everything possible to work around these changes that were happening to her body and to her mind. Around the same time, I took a job in what I considered to be, in my infinite 16-year-old wisdom, one of the highest paying jobs in our tiny little farm town, which was a certified nursing assistant at our local nursing home. And the work was hard, and my coworkers weren't always thrilled to be there, but the same thing happened. I fell in love with the residents, with these amazing people who were going through the aging process and who needed help and who wanted to live the best life possible. One of my favorite residents, her name was Anna, and Anna was this tiny little woman with these big Coke bottle glasses, and she would lie in bed. She was very frail, and she would lie in bed and she would call out for help. And everyone was so busy. It was so hard to get to people efficiently. And I would go in and I would say, you know what, how can I help, Anna? And she came off as pretty cranky and irritable, which, you know, I can't blame her for the physical challenges that she had and the loneliness that she experienced. But as I would adjust the pillow between her little bony knees, or I would rub lotion on her feet, more often than not, I would end up laughing and having just the best time interacting with her. And she so eloquently and irritably helped me to learn to not, in my kind of naive, happy, loving way, to be demeaning to older people. And the example that I think of, I would be laughing and I would say, Anna, you are so cute. In the best intended way possible. She was cute, she was adorable. And she would say in this very stern, very educational way, I am not cute. Cute is for babies and pigs. And she was clearly not going to be categorized as a baby or a pig. And it was wonderful. So I love school, and I wanted to go to school forever. It came naturally to me to want to learn and study and be excited about those kind of things. And I thought I might be a medical doctor, I could be an attorney, but I couldn't shake my fascination with people and why they do what they do and how people want to age well, despite whatever challenges they might have. So I went on to get a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree and a doctorate in clinical psychology, and to really focus on these ideas of how do people age, how do they age well, and how does brain functioning play into that? How do we understand changes associated with normal aging and things that aren't normal aging? And what do we do with that? How do we help people experience quality of life? And so from undergrad in Minnesota to graduate school in Arizona to internship in Oregon to postdoctoral training in Boston, I finally returned back to what I consider to be home, Oregon, and fully intended to work at the local medical school or at one of the local hospital systems and be doing this wonderful work. But nothing really fit for me. I had these big ideas of how to help people and what I wanted to do. And so I ended up creating my own organization. And through hours of going on jogs and walks and brainstorming and thinking about all these ways that I wanted to help people, created this institution of the Opal Institute. It stands for Oregon Passionate Aging and Living. And that's really how I see it, is that we all want to live with passion and we want to live well. And, you know, we're all screwed up. I mean, literally, you know, it's like, I think about talking to people and working with people, and it's like, what flavor are you? Here's my flavor. And so how do we do that as well as we possibly can? For the past almost 20 years, I have been leading a team of people doing just that and helping people age well and thinking about brain health and social functioning and emotional wellness and all these components of living a good life. And I love my work, and I feel like I've really helped a lot of people in the process. So the question then becomes, well, why am I sitting here talking to you rather than writing some important report or doing all the work I should be doing? And the answer is that I can't shake this desire to keep connecting, to keep as authentically, as fully, as amazingly as I possibly can, to keep connecting with people. I have this drive to connect with people in real ways, and my role as a doctor allows me to do that to some extent, but in other ways it's pretty constrained. As a psychologist, we're given this set of ethics and these really important and necessary boundaries in how we interact with people. So acting as your doctor is one way to connect with you and share information and really help. But I've been dreaming of a venue of where I can be more me, where I can share about my family and my pets and my life and my hopes and dreams and my own aging process and all the things that really connect us to each other that we all share. So, ta-da! The YouTube channel is born. This Beautiful Brain is a YouTube channel devoted to bringing the science of brain health home. You don't have to sit in your doctor's office to do this. You can live your own life and do what you want to do. And I'm hoping that it'll be a little more fun and a little bit of a nicer process to have me there by your side. I'll have videos on the basics of brain functioning, medical problems that people can experience, how to recognize if you're having a problem, and how to get help or use resources. We'll talk about classic research studies and new and recently released research, how to understand it and how to implement it in your own life. I'm also going to work on stepping out of that doctor role and actually hanging out with you as we implement these ideas together. I can't wait to have the opportunity to learn to be a real person. And I say that really sincerely. It's so easy for me to fall back into this doctor role where I'm educating you on brain health or telling you this important information, and that's a nice role to be in. But I want to be the real person and to evolve to let you get to know me at a little more personal level, because connecting with people, I truly believe, is the foundation of any quality of life and positive change that we can make to make our situations better. So it might take me a little bit to let go of all that and just be myself. All of the ridiculously quirky, odd, silly parts of me that I still think are pretty lovable. And I'm thrilled to be doing this with all of you.